It wasn't until he saw his wife's medical record that the man was shocked to discover that the person who donated a kidney to him 5 years ago was actually the wife he hated to the core. It turned out the man and his wife were college classmates. Years ago, during an unexpected car accident, the man instinctively pushed her out of the way, but ended up severely injured and urgently needed a kidney transplant. His wife didn't hesitate to get tested for a match, and in the end, donated one of her kidneys. However, after the surgery, she suffered severe rejection reactions, which led to multiple organ failure and was eventually diagnosed with leukemia. She didn't want her boyfriend to carry the emotional burden, nor did she want his guilt to affect his career, so she left alone to seek medical treatment abroad. On the very day his wife left, the man woke up from his coma. He saw her fading silhouette in the distance. He struggled to get up and chase after her, but collapsed due to his weakness. Just as he was feeling helpless and hopeless, the secretary suddenly appeared. She claimed she had risked her life to donate a kidney to him, and that his wife had eloped with a rich man's son and left the country. In his pain and anger, he believed this so-called savior standing before him. 2 years later, his wife recovered and returned to the country. By then, the man had become the company's CEO. He tried everything to reconcile with his wife. To outsiders, he seemed affectionate and forgiving, accepting the wife who had once left him. But only he knew that this was just the beginning of his revenge plan. On their wedding night, he deliberately brought a strange woman home to humiliate his wife. His wife remained silent, thinking that with 1 kidney and 3 years of humiliation, she had already repaid the CEO's life-saving favor. From now on, they owed each other nothing. Soon, her illness worsened again. She couldn't afford the expensive surgery, so she planned to ask her husband for help. But the moment she stepped into the company lobby, she saw the secretary flaunting the expensive necklace her husband gave her. When the secretary saw the woman, she acted arrogantly, treated her like a stranger, and pushed her to the ground. At that moment, the CEO walked in. The secretary pretended to fall, used broken glass to cut her hands, and falsely accused the woman of attacking her. The man didn't ask for the truth and directly questioned his wife for causing trouble. His wife held back her tears, explaining that she only came to collect her paycheck. When he refused, she questioned why he could buy a necklace worth over $100,000 for the secretary, but wouldn't even pay her salary on time. The man coldly said he would give her the money, but only if she knelt and apologized to the secretary. Choking up, the wife questioned her husband not only for not caring about her illness, but also for always siding with the secretary. The man couldn't hold back anymore and blurted out the truth. He had always believed that the secretary was the one who donated the kidney, so he had always treated her as his lifesaver. His wife angrily revealed the truth, saying she was the real donor. She then asked a series of medical questions to challenge the secretary. The secretary was left speechless and pretended to break down in grievance, saying she didn't want to live anymore. The man still didn't believe his wife. In a fit of rage, he slapped her and threw a check in her face. His wife was completely heartbroken. She calmly asked for a divorce and turned to leave. At that moment, the man suddenly realized that his hatred for his wife wasn't as deep as he had imagined. He recalled their college days when he had sold software he spent 3 years developing just to buy her a necklace she liked. He had thought this humiliation was his revenge, but didn't realize his anger had already faded with time. Now he only hoped the woman would soften a bit so he could let go of all his resentment. So he went to his wife's favorite cake shop, bought the flavor she liked, but when he got home, she was gone. Even her beloved dog was gone. Looking at the empty room, he grew anxious and uneasy. He finally realized something might be terribly wrong. He immediately called her, but the word surgery from the call changed his expression instantly. It was only then he faintly sensed his wife's lingering affection and reluctance to leave. The secretary noticed his strange emotions and pretended to be allergic to dog hair. Collapsing in his arms from fake shortness of breath, the man had no choice but to carry her and rush to the hospital. Coincidentally, he ran into his wife again in the hospital hallway. He accidentally bumped into her, her arm got cut, her face turned pale, and she nearly fainted. At that moment, a familiar hand helped her up. She looked up, and it was the senior she hadn't seen in years. It turned out the senior had once been encouraged by her during his lowest point, then went abroad for further study, and had now returned specifically to perform her surgery. He remained deeply grateful, and had never stopped thinking thinking of her. While they were talking, the man and the secretary also rushed in. Seeing the senior holding her hand, the man immediately became furious. He kept questioning the nature of their relationship. The wife calmly replied that the doctor was simply applying medicine. Hearing this, the secretary slandered the woman, claiming she finally understood that the woman wanted a divorce because of a new lover. The man, trying to suppress his anger, ordered her to go home immediately and not to play these push and pull games anymore. The wife sneered and asked if he wouldn't agree to a divorce yet wouldn't give up the secretary, what exactly did he want? Her words seemed to hit him where it hurt, instantly shattering all his pride and confidence. He finally understood that the one he could never let go of was always the wife who had once shared his life and silently given her all.